What if I told you that one simple shift in how you see the world could change your entire life? Not just your circumstances, your luck, or even your environment, but your entire reality. Now, what if I told you that shift wasn't about changing where you live or the people around you, but about changing the one thing you have absolute control over? Your attitude? Sounds unbelievable, right? You might be thinking, how can my attitude change my reality? I can't control what happens to me. But here's the truth. Your attitude is everything. It determines how you see the world, how you react to obstacles, and most importantly, how you move forward. Today, we're diving deep into the life-changing lessons from Attitude is Everything by Jeff Keller. This isn't just a book about positive thinking. It's about how your mindset shapes your reality, how your words create your future, and how taking the right kind of action with the right attitude can transform your life. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to not just think differently, but to act differently, leading to a life full of opportunity, growth, and success. Stay with me till the end, because the shift in perspective you'll discover here might just change your life forever. Let's dive in. Lesson 1. Your attitude is your window to the world. Imagine looking through a window covered in grime. No matter how beautiful the outside world is, you see only dirt. Now, what if I told you that this window represents your attitude? The way you see the world is entirely determined by your mindset. If your attitude is positive, your window is clean, and you'll see opportunities, solutions, and possibilities. But if your attitude is negative, your window is fogged, and all you'll see are obstacles, challenges, and reasons why things won't work. In the book, Jeff Keller shares a story about two shoe salesmen sent to a remote village to sell shoes. The first salesman calls his boss and says, "Nobody here wears shoes. There's no market." He's focused on the lack of opportunity. The second salesman calls his boss and says, "Nobody here wears shoes. This is a gold mine." He sees the potential. Both are looking at the same situation, yet their attitudes create vastly different perceptions of what's possible. The key lesson here? Your attitude determines what you see. So, ask yourself, are you cleaning your window or letting negativity blur your vision? Practical exercise. Take a moment to reflect on your life and ask yourself, in what areas have you been looking through a foggy window? What's one small way you can clean that window today by changing your attitude toward that situation? Lesson 2. You are a human magnet. You've probably heard people say, "Bad things always happen to me." Well, what if I told you that they weren't wrong, but their mindset was the reason things were going wrong? Keller introduces the idea of the human magnet effect, the notion that your thoughts act as a magnet that attracts experiences into your life. If you constantly focus on negative outcomes, guess what you attract? Negative experiences. But if you focus on positive possibilities, you start drawing those in. Consider the example of a man in the book who constantly expected bad things to happen. He always found himself in difficult situations, car troubles, job losses, failed relationships. He blamed bad luck, but in reality, it was his mindset that was pulling in those negative outcomes. The lesson here? Thoughts are magnetic, and your mindset plays a huge role in attracting the experiences that show up in your life. If you want to attract success, start expecting it. Real life. Example, take Jim Carrey, for example. Before he became famous, he wrote himself a $10 million check for acting services rendered. He carried it in his wallet for years, visualizing himself getting such a paycheck. And years later, he did. He was offered $10 million for Dumb and Dumber. Jim Carrey didn't just visualize success, he expected it, and his mindset attracted it. Practical exercise. Think of one area of your life where you constantly expect the worst. What's one way you can shift your mindset to expect positive outcomes instead? Start visualizing success in that area today and see what happens. Lesson 3. Picture your way to success. This next lesson is about visualization, a powerful technique that top performers use to manifest success. Keller tells the story of a man who was a prisoner of war and used visualization to play the perfect game of golf while locked up in his cell. When he was released, he played a round of golf, and it was almost perfect, even though he hadn't physically practiced for years. This might sound like a miracle, but there's something fascinating about the power of the mind. It doesn't differentiate between real and imagined experiences. So, when you mentally rehearse your success, your mind thinks it's already happening. This boosts your confidence and helps you act like a winner. Real-life example. Athletes use this technique all the time. Michael Jordan, before every game, would mentally visualize himself making the winning shot, even when the game was still hours away. It worked because his mind was already preparing for success. The lesson? Visualization prepares your mind for success, and when your mind is prepared, your actions follow suit. Practical exercise. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Picture yourself succeeding in one area of your life that you're working toward. Visualize every detail, how you feel, what's around you, and who's with you. Feel the emotions of success as if it's happening right now. Lesson 4. Make a commitment, and you'll move mountains. Keller discusses how true commitment is the key to achieving anything in life. This means that you don't just wish for success, but you commit to it, no matter how difficult it gets. He shares the story of a man who wanted to become a speaker, but was terrified of public speaking. Instead of giving up, he committed. He practiced every day, and eventually became one of the world's top motivational speakers. The key takeaway here? Commitment is what moves you from just dreaming about success to actually achieving it. When you make a full, unshakable commitment, doors open. Practical exercise. Think of a goal you've been putting off because you were unsure or afraid. What's one small commitment you can make today to get closer to that goal? Write it down and set a date for when you will start working on it. Lesson 5. Turn problems into opportunities. In this lesson, Keller emphasizes that problems are inevitable, but what sets successful people apart is their ability to turn problems into opportunities. He shares a powerful example of a businessman whose sales were dropping. Instead of wallowing in despair, he analyzed the market, adapted his strategy, and turned his business into a stronger and more successful one. The lesson here? Every problem holds a hidden opportunity. Rather than focusing on the negative, start looking for the lesson or solution that's hidden within the challenge. Real-life example. In 2008, Airbnb was struggling to get off the ground. Their founders, at one point, couldn't pay their rent. Instead of quitting, they sold limited edition cereal boxes to raise money. Today, Airbnb is a multi-billion-dollar company. Practical exercise. Identify one problem you're facing right now. What is one opportunity or lesson you can extract from this situation? Write down your ideas and take action to turn that challenge into an advantage. Lesson 6. Your words blaze a trail. Words are powerful. In this chapter, Keller explains how our words, whether we speak them out loud or think them internally, shape our reality. Words shape beliefs, and beliefs shape actions. He gives the example of two people given a difficult task. One says, "This is impossible," while the other says, "I'll find a way." Guess who succeeds? The one who says, "I'll find a way." The lesson? If you want to change your life, start by changing the words you use. Use words that empower you, not words that limit you. Practical exercise. Identify one negative phrase you say often, e.g., "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never make it." Replace it with an empowering phrase that challenges that belief, e.g., "I'm more than capable," or "I'll figure it out." So, there you have it. The first 6 lessons from Jeff Keller's Attitude is everything that can transform your mindset and change your reality. These aren't just concepts to think about, they're practical tools you can use right now to shift your attitude and create the life you've always wanted. The next set of lessons continues to dig deeper into how to break through limitations, embrace failure, and network for success, transforming your future. Stay tuned for the rest of the lessons in the next phase of this life-changing video. And remember, the only thing standing between you and success is your attitude. The rest is up to you. Absolutely. Let's continue with the next part of the script, diving deeper into the remaining lessons and expanding on the practical exercises to further enrich the viewer's understanding. Lesson 7. Stop complaining. Start taking action. One of the most dangerous habits people develop is complaining. Keller makes a powerful point in this lesson. Complaining doesn't solve anything. It only drains your energy and keeps you stuck. Imagine you're planting seeds in a garden. If you're constantly complaining, you're essentially planting weeds in your mind, and those weeds will choke out any potential for growth. Keller shares an insightful example of a man who made it a rule. Whenever he found himself complaining, he immediately had to come up with 3 solutions. It was a game changer for him. Not only did it break the cycle of negativity, but it forced him to focus on what he could do, rather than on what he couldn't. This approach helped him change his perspective and turn every complaint into an opportunity for action. The key takeaway? Complaining keeps you stuck. Taking action, no matter how small, propels you forward. Real-life example. Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors, has a simple but powerful philosophy. The best thing you can do is focus on solutions, not problems. He has often credited his success to the ability to avoid dwelling on problems, but instead, always looking for actionable solutions. Practical exercise. Think of one issue you've been complaining about lately. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, write down 3 solutions you can take today to start moving forward. Choose one solution and take immediate action. Lesson 8. Surround yourself with positive people. Your environment matters more than you think. The people you spend time with can either uplift or drag you down. Keller uses a simple but effective metaphor. If you put a rotten apple in a basket of fresh apples, what happens? The rot spreads. The same goes for your social environment. Negative people will infect your mindset, even if you try to stay positive. But on the flip side, surrounding yourself with positive, motivated, and successful individuals can help you grow. Their energy is contagious. If you surround yourself with high achievers, you'll be motivated to up your game and strive for more. Keller emphasizes the importance of choosing your company wisely and explains how negative influences can pull you into their downward spiral. This doesn't mean you have to cut people off, just that you should prioritize spending time with people who encourage you, challenge you, and lift you higher. The lesson? Be mindful of the energy in your surroundings. Positive environments lead to positive outcomes. Real life. Example. Oprah Winfrey often talks about how being surrounded by a positive and powerful circle of friends, mentors, and advisors helped her stay focused and successful. She believes the company you keep is a critical factor in your journey towards success. Practical exercise. Take a look at your inner circle. Who are the people who uplift you, and who are the ones who drag you down? Make a conscious decision to spend more time with the uplifting people and limit your exposure to the negative influences. Lesson 9. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is one of the biggest barriers to success. It stops us from taking risks, following our dreams, and pushing through challenges. Keller explains that fear is normal, but it's not something you should let control you. Fear is often a sign that you're doing something important and outside your comfort zone. He tells the story of a woman who wanted to switch careers but was terrified of failure. Instead of letting fear paralyze her, she acknowledged it and took small steps. Over time, her fear diminished, and she achieved her dream job. The message here is that fear never goes away. The trick is not to let it control you. The key is to act despite fear. Fear can be an indication that you're on the right path. Rather than running from it, embrace it and use it as fuel to push forward. Real life. Example: take Richard Branson, founder of Virgin Group, who has spoken about his fear of public speaking. He admits that even today, he feels nervous before major events, but he chooses to act anyway. His success didn't come from avoiding fear, it came from confronting it. Practical exercise. Identify one area of your life where fear has been holding you back. Instead of avoiding it, make a plan to take one small action toward that goal, even if you feel afraid. Remember, fear is a signal that you're pushing your limits. Lesson 10. Failure is part of success. Failure is inevitable, yet it's something that most people fear and try to avoid at all costs. But here's a secret. Failure is essential to success. Keller uses the example of Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he simply said, "I didn't fail. I found 10,000 ways that didn't work." Success is built on a series of small failures and lessons learned along the way. The key is not to see failure as something to be ashamed of, but rather as an important stepping stone toward success. Every mistake is a lesson that brings you closer to achieving your goals. The lesson? Embrace failure, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Real-life example. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Today, he's considered the greatest basketball player of all time. If he had let that failure define him, he would have never reached the heights he did. Practical exercise. Think of a recent failure or mistake. What lessons did you learn from it? How can you use that experience to improve moving forward? Reframe that failure as a stepping stone. Lesson 11. Build relationships and network. Success isn't just about what you know, it's about who you know. Networking is essential, but Keller emphasizes that it's not just about building connections for personal gain. The true essence of networking is genuine relationships. You must add value to others and be willing to help without expecting anything in return. Keller shares the story of a struggling salesman who built a powerful network by helping others without any immediate benefit to himself. Over time, this network opened doors for him in ways he couldn't have imagined. Success comes when you focus on building meaningful relationships and offering help first. The lesson here? Build relationships based on mutual trust and value, not just personal gain. Real-life example. Tony Robbins, a globally renowned motivational speaker, often talks about how his success came from connecting with the right people who helped him grow and elevate his career. He built his network by focusing on adding value, not just asking for favors. Practical exercise. Think of one person in your professional or personal life who could benefit from your help. What value can you provide to them today? Reach out and offer your assistance without expecting anything in return. Lesson 12. Commit to lifelong learning. The final lesson is about continuous growth. Keller stresses that in order to stay on top, you must commit to lifelong learning. Successful people are always learning, whether it's reading books, taking courses, or seeking mentorship. Growth doesn't stop when you reach a goal. It's a lifelong journey. Never stop learning. The more knowledge you acquire, the more opportunities you'll create for yourself. Real-life example. Bill Gates is known for his voracious reading habit. He reads around 50 books a year, always seeking to learn and grow. This commitment to learning has played a huge role in his success. Practical exercise. Set aside time each day to invest in your personal growth. What's one book or course you can start today to enhance your skills? Make learning a daily habit and keep expanding your knowledge. Now, you've learned the 12 life-changing lessons from Jeff Keller's Attitude is Everything. These lessons are not just theoretical ideas, they are actionable principles that, when applied, can completely transform your life. Your attitude shapes your world. Your words create your future. Your actions determine your success. The power to create the life you desire is in your hands. The question is, are you ready to take control? If this video resonated with you, hit the like button, subscribe for more life-changing content, and share this message with someone who needs to hear it.